You know exactly what you need to do. You have written the list. You understand the steps. You can see the path clearly. And yet, you cannot move forward. And here is what I need you to hear. This is not a motivation problem. This is not about laziness, and it is not about weakness. What you are experiencing has nothing to do with your willpower, and everything to do with something much deeper that nobody has helped you understand. This video is for you if you are the kind of person who has spent years working on yourself. You read the books, you listen to the podcasts, you journal, you have been to therapy. You can articulate your patterns with precision. You understand your childhood wounds. You know your attachment style. You can name your triggers. And still, when it comes time to actually change the behavior, to have the conversation, to set the boundary, to take the step forward, something inside you goes completely still. You are tired of people telling you to just do it. You are exhausted by motivational content that assumes you simply need more discipline or a better morning routine. You have tried affirmations. You have tried visualization. You have tried forcing yourself. And what happens is either nothing at all, or you move forward for a few days and then collapse back into the same familiar pattern, feeling even more defeated than before. If that is you, I see you. And I want you to know that your inability to act is not a character flaw. It is information. Authority introduction. My name is Dr. Hannah. I am a certified life, relationship, and family coach with a PhD and over 22 years of clinical experience working with adults in New York. And in those 2 decades, I have sat across from hundreds of people who look exactly like you on paper. Intelligent, self-aware, capable, accomplished, people who have done the inner work, people who understand their psychology better than most therapists, and yet they come to me and say the same thing. I know what I need to do. I just cannot do it. And here is what I have learned. This is not a knowledge problem. This is not even an emotional regulation problem in the way we typically think about it. This is a nervous system problem, and until we understand it as such, we will keep blaming ourselves for something that is not actually within our conscious control. When you know what to do but cannot do it, what is happening inside you is not resistance. It is protection. Your body, specifically your nervous system, has learned over years, sometimes decades, that taking action in certain areas of your life is not safe. Not physically unsafe, necessarily, but emotionally, relationally, or psychologically unsafe. And your nervous system's job is not to help you grow. Its job is to keep you alive. And alive, to your nervous system, means the same as it was yesterday. Let me be more specific. Every time you have tried to speak up in the past and been dismissed, every time you set a boundary and faced anger, every time you expressed a need and were met with coldness or abandonment, your nervous system took notes. It stored that information, not as a memory you can access with your thinking brain, but as a felt sense in your body. And now, when you sit down to write that email, to have that conversation, to make that phone call, your body does not care that you have a plan. It remembers what happened last time, and it shuts you down before you can even try. This is not happening in your prefrontal cortex, where your logic and your plans live. This is happening in your brainstem, in your amygdala, in the parts of you that do not speak in words. They speak in sensations. Tightness in your chest, fog in your mind, a sudden wave of exhaustion, the inexplicable need to scroll on your phone, the thought that maybe you should do this tomorrow instead. You are not lazy. You are in a freeze response. And freeze does not look like panic. It looks like nothing. It looks like staring at the screen. It looks like knowing exactly what to do and feeling like you are moving through concrete. Why willpower does not work. This is why all the strategies you have tried have not worked. Willpower, discipline, motivation, these all require that your prefrontal cortex, your conscious thinking brain, is in charge. But when your nervous system perceives a threat, it does not matter what your thinking brain wants. Your survival brain takes over, and it is faster, and it is stronger, and it has veto power. You can tell yourself 1,000 times that the conversation will be fine. You can rehearse what you are going to say. You can remind yourself that you are safe now, that you are an adult, that this person cannot hurt you the way you were hurt before. And your thinking brain believes all of that, but your body does not, and your body wins. This is not a flaw in you. This is your nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is that it is working with outdated information. It is still trying to protect the version of you that was small or powerless or dependent on people who could not hold your needs. That version of you needed to stay quiet, to not make waves, to shrink, to freeze, and your nervous system has not yet learned that you are not that person anymore. There is a concept in Japanese psychology called ma. It refers to the space between things, the pause, the emptiness that is not empty, but full of potential. In traditional Japanese aesthetics, ma is the silence between notes in music, the blank space in a painting, the moment between breaths. It is not absence. It is presence. It is the space where meaning lives. And I bring this up because what you are experiencing, this inability to move forward, even when you know the way, is your nervous system asking for ma. It is asking for space. It is asking you to stop trying to force the action and instead sit with the pause. Not because you are avoiding, but because the pause itself is information. When you cannot do the thing you know you need to do, your body is saying, I am not ready. And not ready does not mean you are failing. It means there is something that needs to happen first. Something slower. Something that cannot be rushed. I need you to hear this very clearly. Nothing is wrong with you. Your response makes sense. If you were conditioned to believe that your needs were too much, that your voice was too loud, that your presence was a burden, then of course your nervous system learned to shut down before you could take up space. That was survival. That was adaptive. It kept you connected to the people you needed, even when those people could not fully see you. And now, even though you are no longer in that environment, even though you are safe, your body is not caught up. It is still running the old program, and you cannot think your way out of that. You cannot discipline your way out of that. You cannot motivate your way out of that. Slowness is not failure. Stillness is not stuckness. Sometimes what looks like resistance is actually your system trying to tell you that the way you have been taught to change, the way you have been taught to grow, is not safe for you. It is too fast. It is too forceful. It is too much like the way you were pushed before. The shift from force to trust. So what do you do if you cannot force it? If you cannot willpower your way through, if you cannot just push yourself harder, then what? You begin by recognizing that the fact that you cannot do it yet does not mean you will never do it. It means that right now, in this moment, your nervous system is prioritizing safety over growth. And that is okay. That is not a setback. That is information. The next step, and this is what we will go deeper into in the next video, is learning how to create enough safety in your body that action becomes possible again. Not through force, but through trust. Not by overriding your system, but by working with it. Because here's the truth. You do not need more discipline. You do not need a better planner. You do not need another framework. What you need is to build a different relationship with your own nervous system, one where it does not perceive change as danger, one where it learns that you can take action and still be safe, that you can speak and still be loved, that you can take up space and still belong. And that process does not happen in your head. It happens in your body. It happens slowly. And it happens through practice, not perfection. Unfinished emotional loop. Today, I am not going to give you steps. I'm not going to tell you what to do tomorrow morning, because this video is not about fixing. It is about understanding. It is about giving you permission to stop treating yourself like a problem that needs to be solved and start seeing yourself as a person whose system is trying to keep them safe in the only way it knows how. The next video will be about how to begin rebuilding that sense of safety, how to work with your nervous system instead of against it, how to take small embodied steps forward without triggering the freeze response that has kept you stuck. But for today, all I want you to do is this. Stop calling it laziness. Stop treating it like a moral failing. Start treating it like what it is, a protective response that once served you and now needs to be gently, slowly updated. If this resonated with you, if you felt seen in this video, I want to invite you to subscribe, not for motivation, not for quick fixes, but for clarity, for a different way of understanding why you are the way you are, for a space where slowness is not pathologized and self-awareness is not treated as a substitute for healing. This is a process, and I am here to walk it with you, one video at a time.